Today, we reconnect with unicorns from the seventh dimension angelic realms. They are returning to Earth for the first time since Atlantis. Hi, it's Cheryl Sitz, welcoming you to another episode of Exploring Possibilities, helping you transform life from the inside out in holistic spiritual ways since 2012. Now, I'm so excited you can find us on Spotify. Way to go, Mario, as well as all the familiar platforms like Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, etc. And don't forget, we're also on youtube.com/Cheryl Sitz. Our entire archive of shows, over 250 of them, is always available to you absolutely free at journeyofpossibilities.com. While you're there, hop over to journeyofpossibilities.com/support and buy us a cup of coffee, won't you? Your contributions keep this show going, and we really appreciate you. In just a moment, we'll be speaking with Diana Cooper. Throughout these shows, I'm always talking about Mario Rosales' incredible technology skills, helping me launch the podcast, my website, my YouTube channel, and he can still help you with all those things. But for 5 years now, he's been working on a special project, and now he's finally ready to launch it. And I'm excited for him to tell you about it because they're absolutely beautiful. Tell us.
Well, what I have come up with, I call it astrofractals, and that's astro, A-S-T-R-O, like astrology. And why is it an astrofractal? It's very simple because it uses your birth date, your birth time, and your numerology of your name. With that, I put it into this formula that I worked on for a while.
Yeah.
And it creates a fractal and it colors it and it gives you this beautiful portrait of you. And at first when I got it, it's like, what was it? What's it for? Well, if you meditate in front of it, take it to a ceremony, or if you just want to look at it like a piece of art, it's beautiful. You can look at it at my website at astro, A-S-T-R-O, fractals, F-R-A-C-T-A-L-S, astrofractals.com, and that'll take you directly to my website. The base package is a digital picture of it, and then I have options that go higher in price for different types of things, 8x10s, tapestries, I mean, you name it, it's whatever you want.
And they are beautiful. Astrofractals.com. Way to go, Mario. I love it.
Thank you. And I'm looking forward to seeing what everybody's fractal looks like.
And you even have famous people on there. So check them out. Astrofractals.com. Diana Cooper is a world-renowned spiritual teacher, healer, best-selling author of many books, card decks, and meditation CDs, and the founder of the Diana Cooper School of White Light, a nonprofit organization offering certified spiritual teaching courses throughout the world. Diana lives in the south of England and joins us today to discuss her book, The Wonder of Unicorns, Ascending with the Higher Angelic Realms. Welcome, Diana.
Hello, great to talk to you.
Thank you so much for taking the time to join us during these interesting times. I think we need the magic of these beautiful beings more now than ever.
I certainly think so. That's why they are here en masse now to help us.
Yes, they are. Well, I have to share that I collected unicorns for a long time. They were a very special part of my life. And then during a difficult time in my life, I lost connection with them. I even got rid of my collection when one of my favorites broke, which was symbolic of what was going on in my life.
Of course.
And when your book came through and I had the opportunity to read it, I really opened my heart and reconnected with the unicorns as I hadn't done in many years. It's been such a special journey. Thank you for writing this beautiful book.
Oh, thank you, because they just come to you at the exact moment when you need them, as do any beings of the angelic realms, because they are fully of the angelic realms. And they work on a different wavelength from many of the angels and archangels, but they are so incredibly special.
Yes, they are. How did they come to you?
Well, strangely enough, it was about 12 years ago, and I was sitting in the garden just writing a book, whatever one I was on at the time, and suddenly there was this pure white energy behind me, and I thought, well, that's not an angel. What is it? And then I realized it was a unicorn, and they started communicating telepathically with me and downloading information and telling me that they were looking for people who had a light on over their head. And that meant that they were in service. And as soon as they saw them, they would go to those people and connect with them and help them to get their service work out there. And now, of course, that being 12 years ago, things have moved dramatically on the planet since then. The frequency has risen incredibly, and they are connecting with so many people. They can connect with anybody who wants to. And people often say to me, well, how do you connect with a unicorn? And I remind them that the moment they think about a unicorn is with them. You only have to think about a unicorn and one is with you. And I had an instance the other day when I was just outside and a child in a pram dropped her unicorn toy and her mother picked it up. And as she did so, handed it back to the child and said, here's your unicorn. At that moment, there was a flash of white light. And I thought, oh, yes, just thinking about that toy, saying unicorn, and a unicorn has come to them and touched them.
That is so neat. I love that.
It's so incredible how they work and how they are there for everybody. And literally, you only have to think about them. And one is with you, as with any being of the angelic realms.
You do a beautiful job in the book of distinguishing how the work of the unicorns is different from the work of the angels. Would you like to share what that distinction that you make in the book about the difference in the two?
Okay, well, they just have different tasks, basically, because the angels, they work with you, especially your guardian angel, holding your divine blueprint, constantly whispering guidance to you. And they hold the energies around you. They will encourage you. They will help you. They constantly love you. Now, the unicorn's task is rather different. They are literally pouring their pure white light down onto you and holding you in the highest possible frequency. I often say to people, if you see a war zone on television, send the angels, the dragons, and the unicorns, and they all do something different, because the dragons can delve into deep, dense energy and clear it. And of course, dragons are also of the angelic realms, but they can go into denser energy than the angels. The angels will sing over the place, holding the frequency, going in and touching the hearts of the people. The unicorns will hold the highest vision and try and bring everything to a higher frequency. So they all work in a different way. Like if I'm going out in a car, I will just call the dragons, the angels, and the unicorns, and they will each do something different. And the dragons will clear the way in front of me. The angels will hold the energy around, and the unicorns will light the way, holding everything in the highest possible frequency. So they are just amazing to work with.
In the book, you mentioned that the angels work through the heart and the unicorns work with the soul.
That's right.
I love that.
So if you have a wish and you really want something to happen, you wanted it to happen for some time, and you want your business to do better or a relationship or something, then call on the angels. They will light up your heart. They will try and bring you the wishes of your heart. But if it's something that gives you deep satisfaction, that is part of your soul blueprint for this life, then call on the unicorns, and they will literally take your soul desire to source for a blessing and help to bring that forward. You know, because it's amazing. So many people still think that they're mythical creatures, and they're just in a different dimension beyond our vision and auditory range in the main. But as we raise our frequency, more and more people are having experiences of connecting with them.
Yes. I've had a couple of really powerful experiences since I started reading your book and started calling the unicorns back in. You have some beautiful, it really is kind of a workbook. You have some beautiful meditations and things in there to help us practice working with the unicorns and how to channel the energy, how to call to them in meditation and feel their presence. It's really helpful for some of us that haven't done it in a while, if ever, to reconnect with that realm right now.
Yeah, I think it's very helpful just to get reminders, even if people absolutely know all this at a deep level, we're just waking up and remembering everything that's available to us.
Yes.
And the unicorn, of course, works so much with the third eye, works with enlightenment. That's their horn is a horn of light. It's because their third eye is fully enlightened. And so if they touch you with that horn of light, that's when magic can happen. And they will often touch your third eye to open you up or give you healing, or touch your heart center to pour their pure source love into your heart center. Lots and lots of people are telling me about dreams that they've had where a unicorn has come to them in their dreams and sometimes given them complete healing in their dreams. That's because they were ready and allowing it to happen.
So what do you tell someone who is still in the place in their own awakening where they're not necessarily aware that the unicorns are actually responding to them, or they're not clairvoyant or clairaudient or open enough to feel that presence yet? How do we know when they're there? How do we know how to work with them if we feel like we're doing this work, but we may not be hearing them as well or seeing them as well as we'd like to?
Well, that's to do with trust and faith. And I think just knowing is the most powerful way of connecting with any angelic being. Absolutely knowing that they're there and that they are communicating with you. At some level, you are receiving that communication. And the way they leave messages for you is just so interesting. Even this afternoon, I had an email from someone saying that she'd been asking and asking for her unicorns to come to her, and she hadn't even realized that she'd been hoovering up so many white feathers in the house that she'd had to empty the bag of the hoover early. And then it hit her, of course, that's what the unicorns were actually communicating to her. I had a lovely one. I'm making a unicorn documentary at the moment. And the documentary maker, of course, is a very nice man, but had never had anything to do with the unicorns. And when he was writing the contract out, and he took the dog for a walk before he posted it that night. And when he put the dog bag in the bin, there was a toy unicorn in there. He literally went home saying, it's got to be a sign. But it gets even better, because that night he went to post the contract. And as he walked down the road, there were 3 young people on the corner. And the girl said to the 2 boys, I can't wait to wear my unicorn horn tonight. What is the chance of that happening on that day as he was posting the contract about unicorns? I just thought, yeah, they are amazing how they work. Right now, there is this incredible wave of unicorns, and they're drawing it to our attention by having toys, T-shirts, mugs, everything covered in images of unicorns. This is not by chance. This is the influence of the unicorns impressing onto the manufacturers, impressing onto the toy makers to do unicorns, because they're drawing it to our attention. This is one of the ways that spirit works. I mean, many years ago, they wanted to have a wave of healing going through the planet, and so they needed blue. And so everyone started wearing blue jeans. Again, that wasn't by chance. That was the spiritual realm impressing that color onto us so that healing could take place.
So what I'm hearing is that there's many ways that they reach us besides us hearing them in our ears or seeing them with our eyes.
Absolutely. They work with us in a million ways. I mean, how many people actually see them? Not that many. But how many people know or trust or have an impression that they're there? That's very different.
I felt like a little girl again, going through your book, doing the exercises, remembering how easy it was when I was a little girl to play with the unicorns and to see and feel them around me, and really recognizing how empty my life has been without them for these years. So you wrote it in such a delightful way. I encourage listeners to work through this book, because it's a journey to our own innocence, to our own inner child, as well as a journey of ascension.
Well, I think you've hit the nail on the head. They are about innocence and purity. They're known as the purest of the pure for that reason. And their innocence means they are in their essence. And that's what they light up again in us. So our pure essence starts to emerge, just as yours did. You remembered them as a child when you were pure and innocent, and that started to come back as the book has triggered it.
Yes. It's been a lot of fun. I like how you talk about ways that we can attract them to our homes by flowers and greenery and, water, and creating a space that would be a setting for a unicorn, and they just come. And I do feel them. The more I green up my lawn, the more I put flowers out, the more I can feel them, the way they come into that space with more light.
Because at the same time, you are thinking about unicorns, maybe unconsciously. But as you do, that's what you attract. As you know, it's one of the basic laws of the universe. Whatever you focus on, you attract. And so if you're thinking about them, even if it's subliminally, you are drawing their energy into you. I know in my house, selenite, the crystal selenite, is very easily obtained. It's pure white, just like the unicorns. And it's the one that resonates with the unicorns. And I have little slivers of it above my doorways, on the lintels, on the top of my cupboards, just beaming that energy down so that people are connected with it without even realizing it as they walk through my house. It's something very simple anyone can do.
Yes, and I think it's important that we are doing that right now. You and I briefly discussed before we started this interview that we're all exactly where we need to be during this time on Earth when we are in our various stages of lockdown. And we are in a place where we are all anchored to bring these energies through to the earth wherever we happen to be planted. And so that's a great way that we can do it within our home to continue to bring the energies through. What other ideas do you have for people during this time to help call the unicorns, to help cultivate light on earth?
Well, anything that you can do with a unicorn will help. Just saying unicorn all attracts a unicorn to you. Totally magically. Talking about unicorns to other people, mentioning them, reading books, using unicorn cards. Unicorn cards are magical because they are so pure and high frequency. And I know that I've got lots of card sets, but my unicorn cards are one of the most popular because the energy is so pure. And just taking a card automatically connects you to the unicorns. On my website, I have a place where you can pick a card for the day, and you can pick angel cards or unicorn cards, etc. And that's a very easy way of getting a message from the unicorns for the day.
Thank you for those suggestions. They're wonderful. I'm remembering, I believe, a part in the book where you differentiated between the Pegasus and the unicorn. Do you remember that part?
I don't, but a Pegasus has the wings, of course. A Pegasus has wings, and wings are the radiations of the heart center, which is why angels, you can see their wings, their radiations from the heart, and why individual people, as they develop their heart centers, you can see sometimes and feel their own etheric wings appearing. Now, a unicorn is most known for its horn of light because it works with enlightenment and it works with those high frequency mental energies. But it also, many of them have developed fully their heart centers, and therefore they're unipegs. They have their third eye open and their heart centers open. So it just depends which one they are working with.
I like that. Unipegs. I hadn't heard that before. It's always been an either or in my world. So I like the idea of a both.
I think there are, because of course they're evolving, same as we are. There are more and more of them now because their wings, people are seeing more and more of them with wings. In fact, I know a lot of people are now just seeing them as pure diamonds, just radiating such an incredible white light.
How beautiful. So did they guide you through writing the book, what they wanted us to know now?
They're always guiding us. So whether we're conscious of it or not, this is what makes me laugh. I sometimes do something or write something and I have no conscious idea of what I'm being told to do or given. And then later on, I realize, oh yes, of course, that was the unicorns guiding me through that.
So do you feel a lot of them around you? Do you get several of them at a time, or do you work with one in particular? How do they come through for you?
Both ways. When we were in the golden era of Atlantis, as almost everybody that's a light worker now was, then everybody had their own individual unicorn that worked with them. And of course now, as our frequency is rising again, those unicorns, the same ones, are coming back to reconnect with us, which is why in many cases it's such a familiar feeling when you connect with your unicorn again, because of course you were with them and loving them for so long. And they really did help hold the frequency of golden Atlantis high. And then at the end of Atlantis, of course, when it devolved, the unicorns who had such a high, pure energy could no longer bring their energy down to connect with the third dimension. So they had to withdraw. So it's such a wonderful sign for humanity that so many people have raised their frequency that the unicorns can come back en masse as they are doing.
Yes,
and touch us and help us. And the frequency of the planet is accelerating. Even now, people are saying, oh, isn't it terrible what's happening with the coronavirus, etc., etc. I won't go into the darkness, but there's a huge amount of light coming from this, enormous amounts of things. People are all being worked on by the spiritual realms at this moment. Part of the purpose of lockdown is to keep us quiet so that we are having more time and more space. Now, you've been given more time and space. How you choose to use it is up to all of us. I mean, some people are busier than ever. And I know I was at the beginning of lockdown. And then I thought, now hang on. Spirit is using this time to change our energy literally down to the level of DNA. The unicorns coming in to shift things within us. Just take more time out, more relaxed, more sitting quietly, more meditating, and then they can recalibrate us in an incredible way. It is a huge opportunity. And for people that are very busy, they've got children at home, laughing with your children, that is one of the times when the unicorns can come right in and recalibrate you. When I sit in my garden and I can hear the little girls next door laughing with their dad. And normally he's working, and so's the mom. And they just have a child sitter, or they're out at a granny's or something. And now they're all in the garden laughing. It's such fun.
That's so special. And I would say not even just with the children, but with each other. Oftentimes, when it starts getting to me, I reach out to Mario or him to me, and we bring laughter back. And that's the thing that will finally shift us and snap us through the next layer of, because it seems to come in waves. I don't know about if that's true for everyone, but even within a day, I have different waves come through where I'm great and I'm here for the world and I'm sending out love and light. And then I'm in a funk and then I don't know where I am. And laughter really helps.
I think it's wonderful. Well, I'm very blessed because I've got two wonderful dogs, and we're only supposed to go out for one walk a day in lockdown. So I've got all this agility equipment and little things set up all over the house. So in the afternoon walk, we run around the garden doing these things, and they're just such fun. They make me laugh all the time.
Yes, that is wonderful. Laughter is an overlooked gift that I think helps us raise our vibration more easily often than anything else can. Just find the humor in the ridiculousness and the whatever that can snap us out of it.
Well, and it raises your frequency, as you say. I mean, there's the old story about the man going down the Amazon with some monks, I think, and they're attacked by all these mosquitoes. And he's saying, oh, this is terrible, terrible. And the monks are roaring with laughter. And when they've passed through the cloud of mosquitoes, he said, why were you laughing at me? I've been eaten alive. They said, oh, no, we were raising our vibration so that they wouldn't sting us.
That's awesome.
I know. It's wonderful, isn't it?
That is a wonderful story. You do all kinds of work to help us raise our vibration. This is not your first book. First off,
no, I've written 30-something books.
Wow, that's a lot. So you've been doing this work a long time.
Oh, I have, yes. Well, the angels first came to me nearly 40 years ago.
That's beautiful.
And asked me to work with them. I said, no, thank you. But they then asked who was doing my work, if it was my ego or my higher self. And I said, okay, that's it. And from that moment, they've supported me absolutely, totally.
That's wonderful. So what else can we learn from you, and how might we work with you if we're feeling drawn to do some work with you? Do you do work with clients one-on-one?
No, I don't. No, I haven't done that for many years, but I do Zooms, lots of online courses. There's masses on my website. I mean, until this week ended, I did a 28-day, 10 to 15-minute meditation every morning that I sent out. And they're all still available on YouTube, I think. So there's lots and lots of ways of making the connection and working. I mean, our Zooms, I've been doing I'm doing one on my own on animals. The Angel of Animals came to me and asked me to, he gave me some messages from the animals and said that he wanted me to do a new way of communicating with them. And he gave me all the instructions, and he asked me to send that out in a Zoom. So I've organized that. But I thought, well, I better practice this on my dogs. And to my amazement, they talk to me loud and clear. And I thought, wow. So I'm sharing that in a Zoom. I think that's Wednesday week. And I've been doing quite a lot to help people through the coronavirus with my friend Tim Wilde. We've written a couple of books together. And that's all about healing. We did one on Monday, which was healing the timeline from the beginning of Atlantis, clearing the energy and lifting the collective guilt. And as soon as that's lifted, of course, then people are different. You feel different. And we were aiming to do that for humanity and get that done. And that was hugely helpful.
So the best way that we can access all of this would be to sign up for your mailing list, or just to go to your website, or?
Absolutely. Go to my website, get onto my mailing list. I send information out all the time, new information, because it's pouring in now for everybody.
So what other messages would you like to share with us today? In addition to the working with the unicorns, what else has been coming through pretty strong that you'd like for people to know right now?
Oh, well, there is so much help available. We are living through the most extraordinary of times. Never been a time like this. And it's vitally important that we hold our frequency high, because the whole planet is ready to take another jump shift in consciousness. Lord Vuslu, who was the highest frequency high priest in Atlantis in the Golden Era, he helped Atlantis to take a jump into the Golden Age that is legendary now. And he helped in the civilization of Mu to jump shift them to ascension. And he's come back now to help Earth to jump shift us into the new Golden Age starting in 2032. So this is such an important time.
Thank you for pointing all that out. So that I'm really intrigued by this. Atlantis has started showing up all over my life for the last about 6 months to a year. And I'd been aware of it before, but never like it is right now. So I've been wondering, what is all this about Atlantis? What do I need to know? It's really been interesting to sit with and see what comes through. But I guess that's it. Just that we're here to reactivate and pull that vibration up again to help Earth come through this time that she's been going through, that we've all been going through.
Well, it's actually more than that. I mean, 20 years ago, I wrote Discover Atlantis, which is the whole story of Atlantis, what happened in the Golden Age, the gifts they had, how you can reconnect with them, etc. And it's a very, very powerful book. But our aim now is not just to go back to the time of Atlantis and bring that energy forward. Many, many people are already on that level and bringing those memories back, but to step forward now and take it to a level higher. That's what the new Golden Age is about. And so this is why every light worker from Atlantis is back now, bringing back the memories, the healing gifts, the way of living, so that we can bring that into life now and take it forward. This paradigm that we're in now is failing. And anybody who thinks that they're going to come out of this lockdown and go back into what they were before is deluding themselves. We are now aiming on to the next stage. So the new paradigm for business and for earning money is about doing something that makes your heart rejoice, makes your soul delighted. Anything where you are doing a business that helps nature, animals, other people, is serving creativity, those businesses will succeed. Anyone that is doing a business which is based on the old paradigm of just wanting to earn a living and make money, those are not going to succeed. Unless there's a higher purpose, then you're not going to succeed. But if there is, wow, then you're going to have the force of the unicorns, the angels, the spiritual realms behind you.
You bring up such a valuable point. If our heart isn't in it, we're not in that vibration anymore. If we go to work and we step out of what we love and our passion and our joy, then how can we stay in a high vibration? It's incongruent. It won't work anymore.
No, because people are very frightened that if they don't do what they've been doing, then they can't earn a living. But actually, it's not that. If you do what makes your heart sing, you automatically attract abundance and support from the universe.
Yes.
And when people get that, then there will be a profound shift in the energies on the planet.
As we're talking about this, I'm remembering in my own life, and I still go through layers of this where for so long I was in that business model that I honestly didn't even know what I loved. Like I had checked out of my own self so far that I wasn't sure what made my heart sing anymore. And I think that's the beauty of this time right now, is if we use this opportunity to be with ourselves and remember what makes our heart sing and allow it to come forward and to sit with the discomfort of the unknown until it becomes a little more comfortable and the information starts to come through. Beautiful things can emerge from this. I agree with you.
Oh, absolutely. Well, it's all about vibration, and it's about, you can't get the coronavirus unless your vibration is in alignment with it. So
Yes.
If you're focusing on it, if you're frightened of it, then you're in alignment with it and attracting it. But if your frequency is higher, then of course it can't find you. That frequency, the lower frequency cannot touch you. So it's about keeping your frequency high.
And for a lot of people, I hear and I have felt myself at times like, well, if I'm avoiding the news, if I'm avoiding these things, then I'm just sticking my head in the sand. I need to know what's going on in the world I live in. But yet it doesn't take 2 minutes of watching someone else's newscast to pull your vibration right where you don't want it to be.
Absolutely. And especially with this particular thing, because you are literally drawing that vibration of fear that is resonating on towards you. And I had an interesting thing because, of course, this virus is all about fear. So it's all the collective fear that's been on the planet for millennia. And it's created literally a cloud of fear over the planet. And I was watching and I saw Lady Gaia releasing fear from within the earth. And it was rising up to join that cloud of fear so that we could be clearing the whole lot in one go. This is a huge opportunity to clear the fear from eons and eons.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that vision. That's really powerful and good for us to recognize that what's going on is so much more than what we realize right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a major initiation, not just for the planet, but for many individuals on the planet. The whole planet is going through an initiation. And an initiation, as you know, is when you go through a challenge. And as long as you step up to it and you come out the other side, then your frequency is higher. That's the aim. You're testing yourself. But many people individually are going through their own initiation within the planetary initiation.
Yes. Yes, I see it every day. Absolutely.
And the unicorns can help you. One of the wonderful ways of raising your energy is calling on the unicorns, bringing their energy through you and blessing people with that energy. And you can do this when you're out for a walk. You can bless people that you pass. So if you've got the unicorn energy coming through you, you can bless somebody that looks sad with happiness. You can bless somebody that's begging with abundance or prosperity. You can bless the trees, you can bless the water, and you can pour that energy through you into them. Raises your frequency and obviously helps them more than you have any idea. You know, even if it's a total stranger, if you're blessing them from your heart with a unicorn quality, a unicorn will touch them through you and might transform their entire life, might make a miracle happen.
And ours, right? If we're channeling that energy, we can't give it away that we aren't touched by it.
Absolutely.
That's the beauty of it, is it's helping all of us.
Yeah, no, it's very, very powerful. And you can send that unicorn healing to anybody as well.
Lovely. Well, thank you for sharing with us about the unicorns and about your classes and things. And there's a lot of different topics in the book that you cover, how we can work with unicorns to help us heal relationships, to heal our bodies, to heal the earth, as you've been speaking about, how they can bring back our innocence, meditations. Were there any other parts of the book that you'd like to touch on with us?
I think healing. I think it's very, very important that unicorns are healers. One of the stories I tell in the book is about this lady who came to a workshop. And then a year later, I went back to give a different workshop, and she came. And she said that the first time I talked about unicorns, and I'd taken them through connecting with their unicorn and the healing with unicorns. Now, this lady was a drug addict. She was a tobacco addict, alcoholic, all sorts of things. And her life was totally out of control. She said she met her unicorn. Her unicorn wrapped her up in a cocoon of pure white and put its horn of light right into her heart center. And she said she just felt this burst of energy and she was healed. She went home. She never touched another cigarette, alcohol, drugs, anything. And then she trained to become a counselor and a healer to help other people with their addictions. So she came back a year later specifically to tell me what the unicorns had done for her. And she was glowing. It was so lovely to watch.
Wow. That's a beautiful story. And it's also evidence that if we're ready for a spontaneous healing and we'll allow that for ourselves, they want to help us. They want to give us that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And even if we don't realize we're ready, ask. At some level, we're ready.
Yes. Good point. Good point. Well, thank you for sharing all of this with us. And the book, again, is The Wonder of Unicorns. We've been visiting with Diana Cooper. Give us your website again so we can go and get all those other goodies.
Well, it's dianacooper.com.
Okay.
And masses of information on there.
Wonderful. And is there a parting thought that you would like to leave us with today, you and the unicorns?
Before you go to bed tonight, ask the unicorns to come to you in your dreams and hold you in their light and expect something magical to happen tomorrow.
Oh, lovely. I can't wait now. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you, listener, for joining us. Let us know what you thought of the show. Give us your feedback and support at journeyofpossibilities.com. And we hope you'll join us next time for another episode of Exploring Possibilities.